everyone, it's me, the Otaku Fangirl, here to review episode 6 of Koi wa Ameagari no Yo ni, or After the Rain, whatever the heck. So this episode was really weirdly paced, I felt like, in the first half, and even the second half, it felt weird, but the second half was definitely better with how it was paced, but the first half was kind of weird. So we learned more about Akira's friend with the brown hair, forgot her name, and basically when they were kids, there's all this thing about running and, having fun, and they were besties and all that, and then they got in high school and everything, now they're kind of drifting apart and everything, and I'm just like, and I'm not sure if that story with like how she was getting the little cat keychain thing was happening in the present, or if that was a little bit of a backstory, because we know it's happening when Akira's working still at the cafe, but if that was, in the past just a bit, because it felt like it was weird. I don't know how to explain it, it felt weirdly paced, like I said, but nonetheless, it was sort of interesting, but there wasn't a lot of talking in this episode. That was the weird part. I think that's what made it weirdly paced, is that they just didn't say a lot. It was all imagery, like a lot of imagery to show what was happening and all that stuff. There were some words spoken, but not a lot. And I'm like, that's an interesting way of doing this, but it made it weirdly paced, to be honest. This is the least favorite episode, to be honest. At least the first half of it, I was just like, this is weird. Why is it doing this? I don't see the point of this. Because then it's just kind of thrown out the window. It's like, her friend gives her the charm that she wanted because there was these kids talking about how it was for romance and whatnot, and she wanted one. She kept trying to get them all. She wanted the special one and everything, and her friend ended up getting it for her, and I'm just like, so what was the point of this story per se? Just kind of filler. It kind of felt fillery when I think about it, like, it felt a little fillery, but it was interesting nonetheless, kinda. I was like, alright. But the second half where, Akira finds Kondo at the bookstore, now that was a little bit more interesting, and I really liked the imagery they used of the aquarium thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. I really liked that. Because I get what it was trying to say. I'm like, oh, I get it. But it still felt weird because it was just like they looked at books, she got him a book to lend, and that's about it. And then the episode just kind of ended with her, like, feeling the wind and being like, oh. And I'm just like, what was the point of that, per se? I don't know. It feels weird, to be honest. I'm just like, this episode was strange overall. Just what's the point of listening to the friend kind of story there? Like, what does that have to do with Akira? Because she wasn't even hardly there half the time. Like, what's the point? And then the whole book thing, I guess I understand why that was a thing, to kind of make Kondo realize that she wants to learn more about him, and he's like, oh, no, that's not it, nah. And I'm just like, oh, you're dumb, sir, you are stupid, but, anyway, because it just, I don't know, it was weird. I'm like, why is this happening? This didn't really help the plot move along at all, really, it feels like, but overall, I enjoyed it. It just didn't move the plot forward, which is what we need to happen, because that's kind of important. I don't know, now he has 2 weeks to read a book. Yay, that's kind of what we learned. And the fact that Akira probably wants to run again, but she can't, obviously, because she got, like, a photo book of, like, runners. And I'm like, okay, yay, good for you wanting to run again, but you can't because your injury. Yeah, so it just, I don't know, there's something there in this episode that probably a lot of people might have liked, but for me personally, I'm just like, it had its good moment with the aquarium thing. That's probably the best part out of the episode. Everything else was just kind of bad, so just not good, to be honest. The music was good at, when they're not talking, that was great. If they want to showcase the music in this episode, that was great, but everything else, So, what'd you guys think of this episode? What do you think's gonna happen next? And I'll see you guys in whatever I review next. Bye!